Okay, so I literally have no plan whatsoever on this build. I literally the only like concept behind this is my friend was all like, I was like, I don't have any ideas for to build. My friend was like, build me a fancy house, and I'd be like, okay, someday I feel inspired to actually build a larger build. I will do that. Try to build you a fancy house. And then you know the glamour stuff pack came out, and I was like, wow. It would be rude not to. Even though I don't know what I'm doing and I just have lots of big rooms and doors and stuff. But I like to believe I tried. It's not a bad house. I'm not sure if it's truly fancy, but you know, I tried. And there should be more floor options. I just want more floor options and door options and door color options. Yeah, it's basically, it's like one part attempted fancy house, one part let me throw all the new stuff, pack stuff in a house. With plenty of windows. Because that's what all big fancy houses have. All the windows. It's the only rule, right? In large fancy houses. Just waiting for me to get past the windows. I forgot how many windows. Even sped up, this is like windows. Like get to the actual room building, or whenever I actually start putting stuff outside. I know I'm literally yelling at my own sped up video that I'm making for me to hurry up somehow in the past. It's a thing, apparently. I do not like that like little window on the top above the door. I was like, gee, you know, real houses have like sometimes a little window above the door, and I was trying to get one that fits, and there's not really one that fits with what I was aiming for, and I was like, yeah, okay. And the kitchen is so big. But I like to believe I handled this large kitchen a lot better than certain other Black Widow's kitchens. Especially since it's not quite as big, but you know, it worked out kind of nicely. Once I stopped fighting with counters. Because I just like, I have those two counters with like the sinks and all the appliances, and then I set up a little breakfast bar, sort of what would be in the middle of them, but more towards the end of the room. And yeah, so I thought it'd be nice, like there's plenty of sort of like workspace, countertops available, but also plenty of appliances. And I love these. I was like, I would put them all around the stairs, and I put them around like so arches in the kitchen. I was like, yeah, I could put them outside the arches, and it'd be kind of like sort of like the kitchen's more cut off, but not totally cut off from the fancy dining room or the fancy like parties and stuff. There needs to be more fancy dining room stuff, because I was like, my room, I was like, I don't know what I'm putting in here. I really don't know. See, this is a little breakfasty bar thing I told you about. With stools, I was so indecisive with stools. Like, just in everywhere, like on the bar, on the little breakfast bar counters, everywhere. What am I doing? Don't know. Lights. Is that, I like those lamps. They're very cool, but I don't know where to put them. I'm not sure if did I keep them in that room, because I know I put them in the living. Yeah, I put them in the living room, and then did I just use the wall, like the ceiling lights in the room? And I had so much fun using curtains, because I was like, yes, all the fancy curtains and all the windows. And there's plenty of windows for all those fancy curtains. So many. Yeah, fancy bathroom. I'm just waiting for me to add lights, because I'm like, no, I want to be able to see what I'm doing. There should be better lighting, but I like it. It's like a little, you know, little dark bathroom. It's kind of chill, relaxed. You know, has a little mirror and stuff. It's candles. You know, like I like it, though it's dark, but it'll still have the whole calm and relaxing feeling that bathrooms always seem to master. I don't know if it's a tiles thing or a color scheme thing or what, but like, maybe it's just the presence of water. I don't know. See, this is a dining room, so like I have like super long, like 2 tables. They're totally just a super long dining table, and I spent ages trying to figure out could I put the chocolate fountain on any kind of table, and it was like no. Then you can put it on that like buffet table thing, can't you? So I eventually get there. See, and then I of course put the bar tables, some music. So I figured, you know, it could be a bit of a grand ballroom slash dining room. So there's plenty of seats, but there's also like a bar and plenty of space to dance, which is totally my excuse for all the space that probably isn't, you know, being used to its full potential. But fancy house is not my thing, apparently. And curtains. I do want more curtain options because a lot of them are very fancy, which is good for this build, but sometimes it's like they're fancy and it's the only ones you can get that fit your window. Too fancy. It's not good. And other times it's the other way around. It's like, yeah, all the non-fancy ones for your window. I don't even know what it is. I don't remember because I don't know. I'm not fully awake. I'm never fully awake. I don't know what I'm talking about. There's lots of greens. Oh yeah, because I put the fountain, like the little line fountain wall, and that obviously the big fountain over there. And I like to think I made a pretty nice little like front yard, gardening, seating area that's like just nice and kind of chill to go sit in, but isn't anything like huge. You know, you gotta have your line of rose bushes. You know, just in case the Queen of Hearts visits. Off with your head, otherwise. Yeah, plants, landscaping. I still have no idea what I'm doing with landscaping. I just found down a bunch of like things that look right. Look nice to me. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing, okay? I like the rose hedges because it makes a nice fall. It does. I don't know, because this video is so long. Like, this is 20 minutes. Like, it took me like, was it like 2.5 or 3.5 hours? But I don't have this many words to say for 20 minutes. I love the little like poofy things that we got with Glamour. Like, it's like, because I like the ones that came with the movie stuff pack. Because they're all round and nice, but like they're obviously mostly all like multicolored patterns, which is nice. But sometimes, you know, it just doesn't fit with the style of the room. And I like these ones because they're like, there's more options for little teeny tiny beanbag or poofy like type seats things. I do kind of wonder that for a rug, like, I can't really tell if it really looks like a fur rug or not. Yeah, like it's kinda, but also kinda not. Yeah. I love the giraffe lamp. I do not personally think my friend would have that giraffe lamp in their house. Like, I think they would admire it in a shop, but I don't think they would buy it for their own house. But I was like, this is The Sims, and you made me your, like, architect, decorator, you're getting a giraffe lamp. Okay, you can deal with that. And I love the little drinks cart thing, because like, it's like the perfect place to put, because we have a couple of, like, drink tray thingies. Like, there's one that came with the spa pack, and there's the like little outdoor summery drinks one that came with backyard stuff, and I'm sure there's probably another, I don't know. And now it's like there's the perfect surface to put this on because it's literally a drinks cart. It's wonderful. I love it. Yeah, I just try to use that. I feel like we need more plants options, but that might just be me and like not being good at placing plants because I'm like, okay, this room needs a large house plant. Tries to find large houseplant that fits with the room, but I haven't already used. Maybe I just have a bit of a favoritism issue with plants. That might be more like it. Such a well-lit house, isn't it? It's like the dining room, kitchen, all the windows, all the light. The office is like no light. The living room isn't too bad, but yeah. I need more light. You know what I do like about the upstairs? Oh, you're gonna see. I totally end up flipping around because I start building rooms on one side and then I go, no, I want these rooms on the other side. And casually flip the whole thing around. But I tried to make a bit of a, like, you know how sometimes the upper story of a house has a bit of a, I don't know if you can call it like a balcony or an open landing or whatever the proper term is for, but you know, like there is not ceiling above you. Like if you stand at the bottom of the stairs, like it's sort of open. I try to sort of do that, and it mostly works. I got it a little wrong at first and was like trying to make it work, and then it worked, and it was good. And yeah, and there's so many sets of armor. Like, I decided to make a full like walkway of them, basically around the whole upside. So my friend just be living in this house, like walking around her fancy bits of armor. I like did not get all the little cuts out of this. Okay, we that didn't happen. Yeah. So my friend is very sort of like writes a lot. So I know her little office room needs to have so many desks and eventually bookcases, plus total secret bookcase doorway into office. That would totally be it, so she can sneak away. And then the totally obvious room's in the living room, but I figured that's like not from the main hall, so she could totally be like, ah yes, guest that I don't want, yes, come in. Distracts them with something, slips through doorway into office, they'll never know where I am. Even though butler should dismiss them, but whatever. So yeah, the living room, it's like the little area, the fancy area with the TV and the seats and the drinks, and then I was like, I don't know what to use the rest of the space on. So I have like set up the cards. She'd totally play cards. She's slightly overly competitive, so probably, murder someone over cards. It would literally be like, I can't think what's the game where it's like, is it Cluedo? That's literally the murder mystery dinner party-ish. I don't know, it's like fancy, it looks all fancy location, fancy people, but there is a murder. I feel like I want to say Cluedo, but I feel like I also might be wrong, but I don't care, I'm not awake. Yeah, so this is better, but this is the room. I mentioned it because I ended up flipping it over to the other side. I ended up making like an attempted walk-in wardrobe. So, and this is originally, I saw I put the door like through the other one, so this is meant to be like a walk-in wardrobe that would then go out through to like an ensuite, which I thought would be pretty cool. And, as a concept, I liked it, but then I decided I wanted the rooms on the other side, and the spacing didn't quite work out with that. Well, I could have made it work if I really wanted to, but I just went with a different plan. And I really like the Glamour Pack added the vanity, because I feel like my friend would definitely have one of those. As well as like an arts and music room, which is what this will be. But again, it's gonna get flipped onto the other side. See there? I did the flip. See, obviously, like I would have to move the little walk-in closet to the other side of the room to let it line up with an ensuite without making the ensuite huge and blocking off any actual direct entrance to the bedroom. So I was like, I'll just make a really big normal bathroom on the upstairs that isn't actually an ensuite. That'll be fine. And then all the windows and slight wall adjustments to cater for those windows. It's fine. And all the fancy curtains, which I want more colors, because I was like, could I have black and white? Could I have like black with white trims? And I was like, okay, let's just go with white. Then I had to fight with the curtains, or the windows there. Don't you hate when you place a painting and you place windows and you realize you place windows under your painting and you're just like, no. And I know I've reused like was it 2 or 3 wallpapers the Glamour Pack gave us like constantly in this house, but I like it. It works, and like I said, I'm just throwing all the new stuff in this house, so it works. I kind of want more bath options now, because I know that like big corner one is like lovely and best bath, but I want to have more fancy looking baths that like. I know there's some others that are kind of fancy, but like that's the only one that's like a unique shape and stuff, and I want more from my bath options, damn it. I don't really know what else there could really be aside from maybe making larger baths that are the shapes in the normal bath shapes. I don't know. There's a reason I don't design bathtubs for a living. It's not just because I don't have an interest there. Yeah, and I know like the shower there is technically sitting out one, but I want it to be like so they can step in from in front of the counter, so I was like, whatever. I don't remember if I put a plant in that corner or not, but I kind of really hope I do. And then there's obviously the little music-y art room, and then a personal gym. So you know, be creative and healthy. It's like the ideal rich mansion with all the things in it, right? Right. And all the candles and the wood that are probably a really bad idea, because you knock one of those over and it's just gonna be an inferno. But let's not get paranoid about house fires, because we totally bought the fire alarm and the sprinklers thing. Yep. Do I? Oh yes, I think this is me. Starting to do the well, adding in more suits of armor, of course. But then I started to do the little like balcony, open landing making thing. I still have that stupid window above that door. When do I get to deleting that? See, there, I did that, and then I like messed up because I was trying to get it from like to have a bit from the stairs, but to not make the whole room around the stairs, and it's like no. It hated me, and then this worked. I don't even know what I just did there to get it to work, but it worked, and I wasn't complaining. I was like, okay, yeah, this works. I'm happy. I'll be happy with this. I don't care. You know what? More fancy stair options, because I want stairs that look fancy that don't have to be weird colors compared to like all your floor options. Oh yeah, right. My little outside backyard bit. I didn't really do anything overly fancy out here. I just used some of my favorite backyard stuff. You know, little table, umbrella table, drinks, and then obviously you need a barbecue and some. There have been some wind chimes. A magical wishing well, because what rich mansion wouldn't have such a wondrous thing? And I basically just fill up the rest of the space with a lovely swimming pool. Because every big fancy house has to have an not remotely equally large swimming pool. But if it was on a bigger lot, maybe. And I do like the street lamp with like street post lights chains from City Living. I should like make a proper thing with them sometime in a bigger garden for my Sims. That's the thing. Maybe that can inspire my next build. Maybe. Yeah. I'm just thinking about the because of the like little archway, fancy thing out in the front. I'm like, did I make this fancy or just expensive? Speaking of, like, it's kind of fancy. It is kind of fancy. Not everything in this place is fancy, but most of it is fancy. And I just feel like there's such a contrast between like the front and the back. Like the front looks, you know, reasonably fancy, moderately fancy. Sorry. And then the back is like, it's still nice. And the hot tub is probably definitely fancy because like, who has their own hot tub? Aside from everyone in America, if I believe TV. But yeah. Maybe I should redo the backyard. I don't know, but I don't know how to make a fancy backyard. It's fancy enough, right? Yeah. Going with that. Did I? Oh yeah, because I was trying to get lighting to see if lighting could work from one floor down to the other because there'd been no floor there, and it wasn't really working. So I was like, okay, I'll live with that. And I really like that bathroom. Like, I know it's way too big, and I like spaced the toilet out into that little corner just to like make it a little more interesting. But hey, once we add in like laundry and stuff, it could all be in there. It'd be fine. Okay, it's a house with room for more stuff and future packs. I've future-proofed this house with all the extra space. That's exactly what I did, and it was totally intentional and not a really bad last made-up excuse. And then I just make a little room up in the attic now for like the butler. It's just a little simple bedroom, moderately fancy but little, with an ensuite. That's literally it, just for the butler. Because I'm nice and give my butlers their own like floor basically, but you know, tiny. Teeny tiny. I spent ages because I moved a sim in and made them get a butler. and actually use this, and it took a while for them to like use up there, and I don't know if I messed up with locking my doors or what. It was like I was like allow access to butlers, but unlocked it, like allow access to butlers, but locked everyone else. And I don't know if I like did something in the wrong order or if it just glitched a bit, because I had to sort of undo that and then redo it, and then they would actually go sleep there instead of napping on the sofa every chance they got. Yeah, this little butler suite. That's my attempt at a moderately large fancy house, and I hope you liked it if you got this far. Feel free to, you know, like and subscribe for more sim builds. I promise they rarely hit 20 minutes. I'm like a 6 minute, maybe 11 minutes most kind of sim builder person thing. Bye!